Welcome to the Ultimate Insurance Agency Podcast, Planet of the Agents. Planet of the Agents. Where we give you the...
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Planet of the Agents. I am your host, once again, Dave Baker, here to talk to you all about the exhilarating world of property and casualty insurance. In today's episode of the show, I want to talk to you about the power of a welcome letter. Now, before I get started in the episode, make sure that you have subscribed to the show. If you're watching on YouTube, of course, click the little notification bell and the subscribe button. And if you are clicking your way through the show on iTunes or in some kind of podcast platform, just make sure you're subscribed. And of course, I appreciate it if you like the show. As always, you can reach out to me by going to planetoftheagents.com and clicking the contact button. That's also where you'll find things I'm going to discuss in this episode in the agency resources section. Okay, so let's dive in. So back in the old days, whatever that actually means anymore, companies would send you a welcome letter after you purchased insurance, right? They would send you direct mail, meaning printed mail. Yes, you remember mail, right? Those little envelopes where papers would come in them. But today, we mostly use the internet. But to be fair, I will say that I do see a lot of companies still sending welcome letters in the mail. Now, in some states, ID cards for auto insurance are required to be sent. So that's a little bit different. In the case of workers' comp, generally printed postings must be sent as well, and those might have to be sent on a certain quality of paper. And there are some states where you actually have to send the ID card on a certain quality of paper. But that is more than just an ID card. That is an envelope filled with marketing information in many cases. So what can you do as an insurance agent? Well, as a property and casualty agent, or even as a life and health agent, or if you have both licenses, even better, you have opportunity to use this occasion of getting a new customer who has purchased a new policy, information on cross-selling opportunities. Very simply put, let's say you write someone a new auto policy, or a home policy, or a general liability policy. What can you do? Sure, you might email them the policy, you might email them some ID cards, you might send some kind of declarations page or lender information page to a lender or mortgage company. But what you can also do is send your customer a welcome email. Now, in this email, of course, you can do basic things like thank them for being a customer, thank them for being a repeat customer, welcome them to your client base. You might not want to use that term. Obviously, you might want to use something a little more friendly or colloquial, or depending on the vibe of your insurance agency, more formal, if you're a very formal commercial agency, for example. But what you can do after you welcome them is let them know about the many other insurance products that you sell. This is an opportunity for marketing. Something that I've come to notice over the last few years is that very few agents seem to be doing any sort of marketing, and I don't understand why this is the case. Think about this. If you actually did some marketing, you actually reached out to your current customers, not even new potential customers, but just reached out to your current customers, you could turn that into repeat business, you could turn that into cross-selling opportunities, or you could also turn that into referrals. A very simplistic format can actually work quite well. You don't have to write paragraph after paragraph. Now, I actually spend time studying email marketing, and I have been told many times that you don't want to write lengthy paragraphs because people are generally not going to read them unless they want to do a deep dive into whatever information you're providing them. Think about it yourself. When you receive an email that has 10 paragraphs of information, do you really want to read it? Maybe some of you do. I actually don't mind getting marketing emails from insurance carriers and MGAs and wholesalers, etc. I like to see what they have to say, but I have a real passion for the business, and I know not everyone is feeling that in this moment. In fact, it's been brought to my attention countless times how people are feeling. So let's talk about what you can do. So what is a welcome email? Well, it really is just a welcome letter. And what I'm talking about here is something like this. You'll send an email within a certain period of time after the customer purchases a policy. You could also turn this into a drip marketing opportunity. And what that means is that you would send multiple emails, right? You would send one the day they buy and perhaps one in 3 days, or I've heard 13 days is an interesting time frame to use as well. So what are we going to do here? Okay. The first part of the email would say something like, welcome to XYZ agency. We're really happy to have you as a client and so glad that we could help you. By the way, we also want to let you know about some of the other insurance products that we can help you with that might complement what you need in your life or what you're doing. For example, if you sell someone auto insurance, you could send an email saying, we appreciate you purchasing this auto insurance policy through us. Did you know about something called a multi-policy discount? Or did you know that we can also help you with your homeowners insurance? Or you could spice it up a little and say, you might think of us as the go-to place for auto insurance, but did you know we can also help you with your home insurance? Now, I realize some of you in tough markets, like if you're in Florida or New Jersey or California, you might not be able to cross-sell them a homeowner's policy with the same carrier. That's okay. That doesn't mean you don't want to help them with their homeowner's policy. But I don't like to just limit it. I like to throw out more things you can do. You could actually ask questions like, do you have any power sports toys? Now, not everyone knows the word power sports, but you could say things like, do you have a motorcycle? Did you know we can also help with your boat insurance? And you can also use it as a cross-selling opportunity to get some commercial business, right? You could say, if you own a business, we also want you to reach out to us because we can help you with your general liability, your professional liability, your property insurance, your commercial business insurance needs, all of those different things, right? This is what I consider a highly missed opportunity for people. After someone purchases a policy, you could use it not only as a cross-selling opportunity for the same side, meaning like personal versus commercial lines, but you could additionally use it as an opportunity to get their commercial or personal business. For example, if you sell them a general liability policy or professional liability or inland marine or whatever you're selling out there, it's highly likely that the person has a home, a condo, or is a renter, right? So therefore, you can get their personal lines business. If you've already made them happy, well, even better, right? Then they'll want to go back to you again. That's how I see it. And I think that I've heard this expression many times, so I'm not taking any credit for it. People like to do business with people that they like. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense to me. I hope it makes sense to you too. I've heard this many times. So if they were happy with their experience with you, when they received the welcome letter, I think it's likely that they'll open it. Now, if you're using some decent email software as opposed to just sending an email with your regular email client, like you're using mailing list software, well, you can track the open rates too. That can be very, very helpful. Tracking the open rates means that when someone opens your email, it will be recorded. So let's say you send 1,000 emails and let's say 370 people open the emails. That's a 37% open rate. By the way, that's a pretty good open rate. If you can get that, I'll be very happy for you. Additionally, you can actually track if they click back to your site as well, right? So what that means is you can track both the open rate and the click-through rate. This, again, is so valuable, okay? So let's talk about this in more detail. The email software that I would prefer to use is going to be mailing list software, not just Outlook or Gmail or however you contact your customers. I don't mean writing them a one-off email. I mean they're joining a mailing list software. Now, there are rules about that. You can't just arbitrarily sign up a bunch of people. Make sure that you are paying attention to that type of stuff. Don't just sign up thousands of people who did not opt into a mailing list. You can actually use the time when you're selling them the policy to ask, do you want to sign up for our mailing list? Also, a welcome email, that's a one single email. That's going to be different. But what I think is really important is that you send an initial email to remind them of who you are and what you can offer them. And you're definitely going to be able to offer them much more than probably the product you sold them. In fact, I think you might find out that they have some referrals. So more information that you can include in the email is asking for referrals, such as, do you know anybody else in your industry who we can help? Or do you have any friends who have been looking for XYZ insurance, we would enjoy helping them as well. We would like to see if there is something that we can do for them. So keep all of this in mind when you're crafting your email. Now, I actually do have a simple email that you can use on my website in the agency resources section. This is a generic email. You can use it if you want to. Personally, I think you should customize it for your agency because this is a generic setup just to get the ball started. So again, keep this in mind when you're looking at what you can write, what you're going to write, and you're going to have to customize it a little also because your agency is going to have different needs than, say, another agency, right? It seems fairly logical that you might not write the same things. You might not even sell commercial insurance. I don't know. So you want to make sure that you have all of these things, how do I say this? Fine-tuned for your needs. So if you're only selling personal lines, you don't sell commercial lines, obviously you're going to need to change the email a little. So it's a nice little starting template. You can find it on planetoftheagents.com. When you go to agency resources, you can just sign up real quick and then you get the access to it. I'm adding more stuff there. I'm also adding, or by the time you listen to this, I may have added a link to some mailing list software that I've tried before. And I think that's very helpful. It's also something you should realize. You have a huge mailing list of current customers who you do business with. People who want to do business with you are there. They're out there. So if someone already did business with you, hopefully they want to do more business with you. So I just wanted to spend this episode talking about the power of a welcome letter. It's a thing. It's real. It can help. Now, I know some of you will tell me, oh, Dave, I'm just like so overwhelmed. I can't do any more business. Okay, I understand. I've heard this so many times, and that means that you can't take more leads. So you could potentially fine-tune the letter to do something a little bit different, like just remind them that you exist and tell them to contact you the next time their auto insurance renewal comes up or some other renewal comes up. Is that likely to happen? This is just my opinion, but I don't know if people are really going to be sitting around thinking about contacting you. But the welcome letter is a little reminder. You could also send them like a seasonal type of email, right? Like something that comes during the holiday season or something like that. But I think the welcome letter is a great chance to immediately get a potential cross-sell. And I've seen studies, I don't want to quote them because I cannot remember where the study was, but it said something about sending an email 13 days after someone purchases something from you. It's very interesting, and I think I'm going to look into that a little more. You can also look for that on the internet and get some information on the best time frame in which to send someone an email. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Planet of the Agents. I hope this helps you and your property and casualty insurance agency. And even if you're in the life and health side of the business, I hope this helps you as well. That is one of my passions. Make sure that you contact me on planetoftheagents.com if you have any questions or want me to discuss anything on the show. Additionally, make sure that you sign up so you get my newsletter. That's right, I have one too. You can do that on planetoftheagents.com, and then you can sign up to get access to the agency resources section where we can continue to help each other build our businesses, because we are not in competition. We are all on the same path of success, and we should all help each other. Thank you, everybody. Please make sure to subscribe to the show and click that little like button, click the star, click the heart wherever you are listening so that you are notified about every new episode of Planet of the Agents, the ultimate show for insurance agencies. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Planet of the Agents. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And head over to our website at planetoftheagents.com to sign up for our newsletter and get even more information on how to grow your insurance agency.